Hello and welcome. I'm going to do today's afternoon video earlier, only because I feel that Litecoin is on what I would feel maybe a high alert system. It looks like it's ready to go for further gains to the upside. And I would think if it's going to do that, price action should go north of the 100. As I stated before, I don't think 100 is going to be that much resistance. And in order for me to be right, it's going to have to break it and have some good gains because this is a top. Well, 100 is going to be very big resistance. Okay. All trades, bets, and of the like. Well, that's obviously within each's own risk and their own reward. It is the 5th day of April 2019. So why do I think it's on high alert? Well, let's just shorten it the time frames and see. 4 hour, do we see anything looking ready to go? Possibly. Great straight up movement in here. Comes back down to the 18 on this period. Rallies up a little bit, but that was just it, a little bit. Comes back down, decent sized red candle, not as big as what this one was. And this was a large sized red candle when it was at the lows. But then, of course, it rallied back up, retracing back down higher than such. And well, now we're seeing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. And fewer periods like this, I got a nicer paint within the green and the red candles. But this just says that it looks like strength amongst the 18 on the single hour term. When we take a look at this, we can see pretty much more of the same as it's hanging in there within it. And now I can see that this short-term level of resistance at 89.53 is pretty big. Amongst the 15, this time frame here is very important. I think anyway, as you come up to this high after piercing, pretty much hitting it here. I mean, we could even just put that level right there. I believe 1 hour, most certainly, right? Oh yeah, definitely. So back to the 15 on Litecoin again. You have this hit with the resistance, successfully finding support up to the highs, back down to the lows, breaking out, marginally getting above, but staying in that area. Now coming back down to the pierce below the 18, yes, but after the resistance test, it didn't do that, and now I'm seeing how it's holding this for now its fourth period. Okay, if this thing is on its way getting above here and getting above this high, and then that's going to make a test of that 100 level. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if not just even looking at this itself that it ends up taking it out, which of course that 125 target area I'll be looking at as its next breakout move higher. And on its cross against Bitcoin, we can see a lot of the same sort of bullish sentiments. Daily chart, the 15-minute here, looking like it's had good support in here. It had to move above in here, didn't quite break. Give it another chance if it has some forward momentum around the one slot machine number, 1777s or so. And then we look at this on the single hour. When this thing does get above even that, like 181.82, well, this it could get interesting after you have this move from point A low to point B high, and it's this got this low, higher low, a bunch of higher lows in here, and it's almost like an ascending triangle kind of deal. And it's the neckline for such is at about the 179. Bitcoin on its single hour term time frame. I don't know what else to say about these Fibonacci lines that I put in, but wow. And as I'm seeing this now within the chart pattern, as it gets above the 18 average of highs at 1 a.m. yesterday, or this morning, it just shows a lot of strength there for a bit. Very minuscule breakout, but coming back to it. Again, showing strength and support amongst this level in here. A lot of resistance has been played over since the last decline here at this 5,069, 5,060s we'll call it. And having a nice clear break above that, just like we seen in Litecoin. It should have a break above 100. This should have a break above 53.19. And then in the situation for here, if this goes today, I don't really count this as anything but short-term support at 48. If this goes, I would pretty much count this as no resistance and be looking for a move to its next point, which is in at around $6,341.90. But the chances that this number has any type of yada yada magical stuff like all the ones prior to it has had before would have been about the same as it was before. Now, whether it does it again, we'll see. As I've mentioned with key Fibonacci points, if you're not going to resist it, don't be surprised with quick moves to the next key point. And now I want to talk about NLC2, No Limit Coin 2. And as I stated before, the baseball season was going to be a very, very big indication to how I'm going to play this. On the first day of the baseball season, when it opened up, I noticed they were a little late in getting the game up. That's no big deal. They did get it up, but not close to the opening pitch, which is just a bad time as it was anyway, given the afternoon on the first day. But they gave it a free roll, like a test run. Okay, that's fine. Then the next day was great. They had games for a 200 chip buy-in, 100 people, and 50 chip buy-in, and I think that was 50 people. Okay, I'm not really interested in the 50 game too much, but that's like 50 cents at these current prices, maybe 55 or 58. But the 200 chip game, well, that's a little over $2. It's not bad. And I could put 2, 3 lineups in, make it like a $6, $7 level. And for me, anything below that is, and it already is, that of micro stakes as it is. So I played it, and then I'm like, you know what? I gotta wait for statistics. Let's go. Let's take a week off. Let's take a week off in basketball or so. Let's wait till the end of the regular season in the NBA. I'm not gonna play that until the playoffs begin. Their games are good, but the baseball games they've went down to only a 50 chip game for 100 people. But at these current prices, not too excited. But as I was noticing on the third day that they were taking it away, I'm thinking, you know what? It's not looking too prospectful. I might not have much of a game left until the NFL season. But that doesn't mean I'm going to just sell everything and be so super bearish on it. I did sell about 30% of the portfolio at this before it was breaking down around 240 or so. And I took it, put it into that of DGB. And that's what the trade will be from this point on. I haven't made a trade since. So therefore, this goes down. Most likely, it'll be a buy, and I'll have to sell DGB to get the Bitcoin to do it. This goes up. Most likely, it'll be a sell, and I'll buy DGB with it thereafterwards. Don't need to have any of these coins on the exchange. I can put them in the wallets and simply move them. It doesn't take too long to move the coins. Some coins take a lot longer to move and shorter. This coin, for example, Vercoin, which when it was pumping up on this second week March rally, well, I was selling it. And when I sold it, I had to take it from my Trezor wallet to the exchange. And whether it's Poloniex or Bittrex, it's 1,000 confirmations either way. One of them took 25 hours, one took 23. That's a long time. I'm waiting to buy back at 10. I haven't bought in a long time. Ever since, I think, I don't remember when I bought back last. I'm going for aggressive buys, I know that. So 10 and then probably get at around 8. And the DGB coin, well, it's volatile. It's not doing too much now. It came up to its 18 highs and was showing weakness amongst the 18 lows. So there's your correctionary move. So as it was coming down to the 287 level, I would consider that, okay, that's a low area because it's noticeably below last key level. Now, coming down towards there, it's no longer oversold. Well, I guess that same equivalency next time would be somewhere around 272. And I would think a good 266, 267 would be the most likely area of its next leg lower. It's got to get above this previous level high of 319 to attempt to revert the trend of up. It had this point A low, this point B high. So far, correctionary point C low is higher highs and lows, tops and bottoms known after the fact. And I don't know yet if this is a low because the fact isn't in yet. If this breaks in lower, no, the new ones will be coming in. If this holds, and as I stated, we can see that the 18 flattens, gets above it, and has a decent gain. Well, now at that point, when it reverts or resumes the trend, I'll consider this a low, and we'll be working towards making the next high, with the last key one coming in at around 400. Let's now move on to the review, the top winner, and the top loser. The review is EOS, or the request. If you are looking for a coin for tomorrow's afternoon video, I will choose one per day, and I'll do a quick shout out to the coin or just analysis on it. So within this one is resistance established on February the 24th at a high of 10,700 Satoshi. Comes back down, double hits the area here at about 87, and has extended correctionary time within the 18 after it tested the highs, tested the lows, tested the highs, tested the lows, and then it beat the test of the highs on around March the 27th. And in doing such, getting above this level of resisting, retesting previous high. Then this day here on April the 2nd came back to where it came from below the 18, and it quickly rebounded. Since then has been showing some strength amongst the 18 highs with a Pierce higher okay, I mean not okay, a below okay high for now. But I mean that's just for now. Hot tops bottoms known after the fact. You have this resistance established at a noticeable higher level. That's a barely best way of putting it. It's at the about the lowest level for barely higher, noticeably higher. So showing some strength amongst here on the weekly term time frame. This market, as we can see, was in this downtrend, resisted this 18 in here successfully once to one leg lower, and then it resists the 18 lows, but it doesn't break down. So resistance means stop going up. So it stopped going higher. So after several weeks of going sideways, it has this move to the 18 highs. It doesn't resist it, rather it pauses it, supports it for one period, has a nice little move, and is corrected sideways. Maybe not exactly to the band, but close enough for me to state that this thing getting out above here, I'm looking for this price to probably make a break to about the 140. It has to have a clear breakout. Pretty much, I got to put a line in, but it has to be where this high is. And that's right where this green line happens to be. So it's at that level of the break. Do I consider this a noticeable break above? The answer is no. So within shortening the time frame out, as far as when I want to see something in here, if I can see this hold and stay above a higher high, higher low setup, even retest some of these previous highs at around 11.1, show any type of strength where it's holding a support line in this area here, thus making higher lows per day, at least for the most part. And I say for the most part in case tomorrow's day, say the closes, it doesn't go any lower today, but the next day it goes to like 1019, higher than this, but just stays, doesn't go down long, and continues to show strength at the 18 highs. And if I see that for 2-3 days, and it's grinding its way higher amongst that, that to me becomes a very strong signal. When I see a spot where it has a convincing break above this, well, at that point, will we know on the weekly that we are going to be getting a little bit of correctionary move within this and a clear break above? And it's not a surprise if you go long in a spot like this. You're only playing risk reward probability odds, but the probability odds become in your favor that you can have a decent sized move and fast up towards a level, and I would just blindly think a 61.8% retracement in previous support in here at around the 15 handle. Down 20% is Piton. I didn't check Binance out for this one. I'm just going on Bittrex. I'm going to do this really quickly. Usually the biggest winners or losers will always be on Bittrex anyway. But for today, it's a Bittrex biggest winner or loser. As at 1300 hours and 27 minutes. New York time. And I really wanted to do something that at least had a few days in, so that counted. Because the biggest loser was down 40%, but it was like a newbie. And you talk about a newbie, that's what foresting is right in here. Ever since coming out, it's just kept going lower. It actually opened at an extremely difficult, the high price compared to where we see it today, 512. And when you get into these new coins, you talk about major risk reward. In fact, I don't even know within this line, if the price even got up to like 500 within this line. I mean, wow, this is just, I'm looking at this for the very first time ever. There has been really nothing since the get-go on the 4 hour here. There is like hardly any rally attempts. There's going to be at some point. I'm looking at this just wondering, is it worth just a small venture as a fishing bet, if you will? And I'd only and always not only put something that I could easily afford to risk and lose, but even less than that in the sense. Like something where, yeah, just I mean, if I'm going to profit, I'm only going to do okay, even on a 4, 5, 6x gain. But at 24, it's wow. I mean, talk about volatility on the single hour term time frame. What kind of moves are we getting in here? We're going from 30 up to about 40. Yeah, it's okay for what it's worth. And that doesn't mean you're always going to get 30. You can get a bottom of 32, and maybe you get the 38. And let's just look at this on the 15 minute and then head on off back to when this started. Because did this even get to 500? I mean, it's just been in a nothing but an extreme down, down, downtrend. Well, technically, on the first 15 minutes, the first trade came in at 199 or 200. It opened at 200. They rallied it up. People bought it up to 312, but it came back down to the 200 area. And then the next 15 minutes, they rallied it all the way up to 512, and it was just a continuous decline for over 15 minutes probably, and it could have even been 3 minutes. Why do I say that? Well, technically speaking, this could have hit its high maybe like a minute, like 14 minutes into the period, and then 1 minute left, it goes down. So that's 1 minute of decline. And it could have maybe only took 2 minutes to go down to here. Maybe within the next 13 or so, it goes up and back down. And I mean, most likely not. I'm not going to check, and I probably can because there's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of nothing or a little bit of data. I guess I should have said a little bit to start on that. But it just kept going down and down and down and down. I don't know if this is just an ultimate scam coin that got accepted, but I don't know how it started or where it came from before. I'm gonna now just take a look at the best winner for the day or the best gain in the last 24 hours. And the biggest winner is becoming a regular here. It was the biggest winner a couple days ago, was the biggest loser yesterday. It's the biggest winner today, Vericoin. What? Okay, well, it's up in the last 24 hours. Really? How is it up? Well, 20%, I guess. I mean, that's all it is up, and it's not like there's anything of greater competition. I'll quickly check Binance after this because 20% isn't much of a move. But this volatility is interesting to say the least. After the 1,000 decline, you come back to one of the areas in which it came from in here where it lifted off from. So previous resistance becomes support as the low comes in at 2,867. Today's session is rallied up to 48.11, now pulled back to 34.37. What's a single hour going to show me? I mean, this is just crazy. Well, it's these fast moves, and again, this is like 2 hours. Well, it could have been 10. It could have been 2 minutes because not no. Actually, no, it can't be 2 minutes. It has to be at least an hour of. Well, no, it could have been 2 minutes from this low to this high. Is what I mean to say. But no, I would guess that this move took because that's an interesting game to play, and I'll just try to do the best that I can here. How many minutes do I think it took to go from the point in which it broke out, and it has to be, we'll say, under 3120. The point when it broke out to its high, I'm going to guess took 40 minutes. Okay, let's see how long it took. Okay, well, it broke out really here. What number did I say did I count it as? You know, just this to me just has to count. I'm trying to get what the area of the right number is, and it's when it's a clear breakout but not too high of a price. 2037, and it topped at 2116. I forget what number I said. Did I say 40 minutes? I think I might have around there, but 40 minutes it took to go from point low, from point breakout to point high. And then you have your correctionary move, and then volatility here on the 1 minute. 44 down to 34, up to 43, and then you go back down to 34, and a little bit of a move up to 39. Maybe you could hit something there, maybe not. And here we stand today at this price. Now on Binance, the biggest loser is like 7%, but BLZ's got like a 20+% gain. I've never even heard of Blue Zell before. Okay, let's take a look at it. And here's the move. This is the 1 minute to start her off with, so it's just really happening now. If I'm thinking about day trading this, which I'm not because I got no Bitcoin there, and it would take me a few minutes to get it there. A little quicker to send Litecoin and then sell it, and then no, I'm not trading it. But if I were to be doing stuff, I'd still want to. Where would I want to pull back? I mean, I'd almost be considering right now 1733 if I could speculate in there. But I'd want to see more now to see if it's worth doing because it's something that I'd have on my radar right now. After all, I just even heard about this coin uh, moments after I showed the last. It has been in a non-stop tear since April yesterday night. Nice little move higher, continuing its moves to the upside. We got a 15-minute time frame showing a lot more of the same, going back to the 4th. This thing has went from 1380 up to 1800, so that's satisfactory volatility, I think. And its move gets above. Well, there's a lot of ranges of resistance. Originally, it was in here at 1516, then it pierced above it this time to 1528, but that really wasn't a clear break above. And in here, not a clear break above. It obviously didn't hold and stay above in here, and then it flew back lower to the 18. And in here, this well, this even again is barely a clear break, but as it was breaking down, you can see some of the, and you see this now, but you also want to, when looking at stuff like this, look at times when stuff like this loses. But you can see on all of these examples within the 18, you establish this resistance. There's where you were showing some of the strength in there, and it worked. There you have your comeback. You're starting to leave the 18 in here, and it works. There we have a spot leaving the 18 here. We have it showing strength on the 18 in here, and it didn't work. Although in situations, if you didn't get stopped out here, technically it still did. Let's go on to the 4 hour now. Well, it's back to a big level now. Okay. Big time. This is going to be interesting now because if we don't get resistance here, we're going to go to the next key level where we're supposed to go to. And that's going to be easy for me to figure out, even though I have no idea what happened before the 20th of this day of April. I have no idea. I mean, there can't be too much data because I don't actively check things out on Binance, so maybe it's been there since February. There's some stuff or whatnot, and even before, so I suppose, but we'll see. Okay, comeback spot is definitely in here, which should coincide with the 18. This is the conservative level at 1659. I would be looking for a little bit of a deeper pullback in here. I mean, now we're at the stage on breaking out above this point, and well, clear breakout is in here. This is where you can see as far as using the 18. After coming from in here and having that following this decline in here, you have this move. It doesn't fulfill, but this is definitely a spot where you should not be stopping out. If you buy in here and you stop out in there, I don't know what else to say. But throwing that part aside, what you do want to see as far as looking for different patterns and setups is something like this where you come back down in here, and then now as we see leaving this band in here, well, this worked out to be a very successful gain. Next up is the daily chart, probably the last one. Well, there's a decent amount of data. Okay, this is going to be very interesting now because this is one of the spots I don't like. Okay. Okay, this has been around for a long time. How do I never known about this? Seriously? Seriously? Wow. My short-term memory not only is it's not the greatest anymore, but usually if something's like this, oh yeah, I've vaguely seen it before. I've never bought it or anything, but I've vaguely seen it. No, this is odd. Okay, well, if this only had history and this was like at all-time highs, I would have been calculating Fibonacci upside. And I still could, which I take this high to this low, and then that's what I come up with. But this is that spot I really don't like. Really? I don't know why I said that again. I actually I actually had the Mad TV character of one of the characters who had a funny really saying on it, or says like trying to think of what his name is. He's like a really smart punk kid who likes the Zima alcoholic beverage. He says real. I was trying to imitate him without even using his voice. That's why I said it that way. And I'm just avoiding. I'm just stalling time at this point. But this resistance here becomes support. That's exactly the area you'd really want it to see. Hit the 18 lows like this, lift off. Now it's breaking this level of resistance. As it was breaking in here, the clear break, we can see it's had its move. If we have resistance in a bullish level, this could be the case. This could be a key top, and we could be seeing really, really low prices later. Although, if the cryptos do well, probably not. But definitely, it's one of those possibilities. And that's why I don't like this spot. Okay, if I sell here, do I get a great buyback? I know if there's not resistance here, and because of the higher low here, I wouldn't be surprised if there's little to no resistance at this point, that we would be looking to have a move to the next key level. Let's calculate it. 80. I'll use Fibonacci for this one. I'm just trying to. Do I want to use the open highs or this? I'm going to use this one here. Which choice do you use? The lows are going to be easy. It's going to be this here. Do I use the highs in here, or do I use the high from this one? First, I want to see a Fibonacci downside, how well it did. I want to calculate high divided by low to the root of negative 0.618, and I want to multiply it by the low. Now, I have a calculator to do that for me. And therefore, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what the high is. That comes in at 85.43. And then search the low, which comes in at all four threes. Downside target, we'll see how effective this was. It was at 1863. And not that effective overall. Actually, wait, no, throw that out. Throw that out. Very effective. Because it was right here. See, that support means stop going lower. So therefore, it did. I mean, it didn't give you a good gain on buy there, but it stopped going down. Yeah. I was like, man, usually it's pretty accurate. I was thinking, man, I was like, yeah, it's like, it's just mathematics that I'm putting together. So let's take this high of 85.43 again. And let's calculate a low. So it looks like this would be the lowest point, which is, we'll say 1,000 as it goes to 99999. I can even do that exact number. Key numbers are 22 and basic 23 and 38, because it usually appears as extra anyway. So therefore, break above this, I'd be looking for this to go to about 2,300. And that will conclude this video. Now, how do I want to play this? You know what? It's not. I don't like playing this style of game as it is anyway, even though it's pretty much how I started learning it from day one. But it's definitely got the possibility of going in there. And these levels that I just calculated, why they work so well, well, I don't know, but they work. Thank you for tuning in, or they have worked very well in the past, and they most likely will continue to work as we move forward. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.